All right, can you hear me, Alex?
Yeah, yeah, maybe I don't know, can you get a little bit louder? It
Uh,
may just be me in the back. Literally
let-
everybody just got here, so
all right, let me change my mic. Give me a second.
I mean you sound okay there, James. So I mean I'm not don't stress too much. It's probably just my probably my house. We got this dinner we're going to. It's like a fundraiser. I went to the school today and because I'm gonna rebuild a swing set for the toddlers section, the toddlers class, and the director, she's like, "Are you gonna come to the pizza fundraiser or whatever?" It's like a pizza joint, and it's like, part of it goes to the school and all that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm sure we'll go, and I call my wife. She's like, oh fuck, gotten like 3 flyers, dude. This is just so. Anyways, we're gonna go to that, but
Nice.
so I'll let you all kind of rock and roll with it. I mean, I'm here for at least a half hour.
Okay.
So
Okay, sounds good. All right, so let's go over how I use it. I'm fairly new at using ToS Active Trader, but Alex showed me how he uses it. So I only use two tabs: trade, all products, and active trader. These are the two things that I use TOS for. So all products, you can type the ticker here, and then let's say you pick let's say you pick SPY, and then over here you have outline tabs here. I just use the option chain. Look at my option, and then from here I right click, add it to a watch list, and then I put a watch list here. You can add it to whatever watch list, and then you can also add customize this section over here on the left. So I just have a 3 watch list, account positions, day trade options, and some other options. So I move, certain options that I want to my watch list. And then from here, you can, let's see, right click, and then you can send it. You can send it to 1 through 9. And the colors are also over here. You see 9 over here, 9, 9. So everything that's marked 9 is linked together. And then
I just want to throw in there too, in order to move the contract, right? You right click over the over that contract. So over the bid or the ask. I normally, yeah, you right click it on, then you can go down to you can either copy it or you can add. Yeah, you can send it directly to a color, or you can add the contract to watch list, right? Just below that, right? And it'll pop up, and so you can create a watch list for, maybe like today's options or something. Or yeah, right there, right, just like what you have. Anyway, so once you do that, it'll put it in a watch list, or you can send it directly to a color, and the colors are pretty handy with especially if you have multiple time frames set up, you can link it all to one color, and then once you send a contract or a ticker there, you're trading commons, or if you're looking, even if you're just using it for charting. But so anyways, just wanted to throw that in there because it's one of those things that if you can't figure it out, sometimes it's a pain in the ass,
yeah, definitely. And it takes some time to get used to, but I think so. All products, option chain, and then also active trader. These two are the only things I really use. So active trader over here, and then you see this little bars here. So you can customize it to whatever size you want, how many screens, how many options you want to watch. So you can do like 8. I usually do 2 like this. And then right next to it is this show actions menu. You can detach it, and then it'll pop up like this. And then from here, you can there's like the colors over here. You can pick colors. Let's do 6. Oops, 6 and 7. So once you detach it, it's a separate window like that. And then from here, you can send it. Right click the contract, send it to 6. Yep, 6. and then it'll show up. The contract will show up here. I don't know what this purple line is, this theoretical option price, but I usually get rid of it. And then you can see the option contract here. And then over here, you can buy and sell the contract. Buy limit, sell limit. Yep. And then if you want to put a stop loss, you can go under.
Can I interrupt for just 1 second?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so mine says buy market, sell market. Why am I not showing limits? Do I have to change the settings?
It says buy market. Let me check. I'm not sure. Alex,
Yeah,
do you know
so
by
if
any chance?
you, so see the little, so there's two of those gears, right? Right, so that's, if you click on that, right, you're gonna have choices for that horizontal, you know, that rectangle up there. So if you scroll down on that left window, my son is trying to drive it. Yeah, so if you scroll down in there, right, you can buy market, sell market, and
Sell ask, sell bid. That's what I want, right?
what were you, what did you want?
Just want to limits.
Yeah, I want limits. I don't like the markets.
So the limit, but the limit is what is the price. That's the chain below. So like you literally click on like where it's red and green
Okay.
to set your limit. So like,
Okay, now I see it.
yeah, so
Okay.
that in you know, like I'll have where it says price, I'll have that widened enough to where it's where you can see, you can see the price, right? So that's your price chain. And yeah, there you go, right. So, you know, see how you can see the amounts there? So that's literally, that is where you put your limits in. So if you basically, if we're trading at it like right here, right? If you want to say you want to put in a limit buy, you know, you would go down below the green, right? Because you're going to look for a lower price on the bid. You can also put a stop limit, right? Or a stop market, I guess it is, that if you go higher on the chain on the left, well, even just in the green, right? If you actually clicked higher than the green, higher than what the
Yeah,
current
it says
price
buy
is,
plus one stop.
right? And that's the thing. So when you click on that, what it'll do is it won't, it's not like it won't just automatically fill. It'll wait until price gets up there and then fill. So it's the same on the sell side, right? On the ask side. If you know, once you're in something, you know, this is what I end up doing. Like once I fill, I'll have orders, you know, on the lower left side, and then I'll actually have sell orders already in on the upper right side. Right. So I'll just put them up at the different levels that I think it's going to go to. And you can just set your limits, you know, your limit cells. So
Here's
that's
the
how
second.
that's how you do your limits. Yep.
Okay, here's a second question. Can we paper trade on Active Trader so that I can get used to the buttons?
Yeah, you can, but when you log in, you have to log into the paper account.
Okay. Okay.
So when you log in, there's a before you hit enter after you put your password in, there's a you'll see it, it'll say like live trading. It's a little toggle switch, and you have to toggle it over to paper.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, this is all I know for ToS. That's all I
No,
got.
that's all right. I appreciate you starting it off, man. And
All right.
no, it's good. And I mean, look, the Digi's in here and Phil, I don't know who wants to go first or what you guys want to, you know, how you guys want to rock and roll. I kind of want to, you know, I mean, I could go over some things, but I know those two have, you know, I don't know. Are you guys ready to go?
Yeah, sure, man.
I mean, it's up to you, dude. I mean, if you want me to like kill some time, if you're still,
No, I'm ready. I'm just loading up. I'm just surfing the net right now.
yeah,
With
no, it's perfect.
Thinkorswims. Yeah.
Listen, this isn't like, you know, we don't have to like have this be super professional. I just want, but we do, you know, the thing is you guys have setups, right? I mean, the basics we need to know about, right? Although I will say, you know, for anybody that isn't sure about something with ToS, there's a ton of information out there on YouTube videos. And it's just, you know, you just kind of gotta, you got to spend a little bit of the time like going through it. Like if you want to know how to do scans, you know, I mean, people in here will help, but at the same time, like, you know, it's a lot of times it's really nice to have like watching a video and then actually doing it. That's how I learned how to use you
Yeah, I
know,
think they have some videos on the TD Ameritrade. I just saw them. I saw one yesterday.
Yep.
It kind of goes through it a little bit. So
yeah, and they actually have a lot of written instructions as well. If you don't mind reading, right? On like, different ways to use, different strategies and different uses for a lot of the tools. I mean, I probably have used 10% of what Thinkorswim offers, and it feels like I've used, 50% of it. So, but no, it's a good, it's a great platform. It's definitely can be confusing, but yeah, as far as the layouts, I mean, you just go over anything that you guys do on yours, because you guys do use it more. Like, I know both of your layouts are, they're not the same, obviously, but you guys utilize, a little bit more of the creative side of things, because there is the thing called flexible grid. There's a few things to it. So yeah, Phil, if you want, whatever, if you want to share your screen when you're ready, or
Yeah, just gotta figure out how to do that. Let's see.
yeah, down at the bottom, you should be able to just click share screen.
Oh, no. Let me see.
No.
Yeah, just because I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I was trying to figure out what screen to share. Can you see it?
Yeah, there it
No,
is.
there it is. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you got
so-
all your stuff privatized, right?
So
you
I
got it
like
all
the,
covered.
yeah. I like the flexible grid because I also have a laptop I base off of, so I can be mobile. But I use the flexible grid because then I can also look at the there's spies up here, SPX here, whatever I'm in is down here. And as James does it, he does it. I like the way James does it too, but I just don't have enough. Find me another screen to do where I have multiple contracts. Because I send all mine to one down here to all the option prices that I'm looking at. I set them up the day prior, so I'm ready on what I'm looking at. And then when I get into I just started using Active Trader, I'll set them in here because it's connected to 9 down here and go from over here. And then my daily watch list is over here. And then this is like everything I also look at too. So there's just another watch list, and then I can't see what's up here, but here's my other watch list. But if you want to see like the different things of like flexible grid is right here, and then when I chart, I just chart on the single one right here.
I was
and I
gonna say, yeah,
set-
any details that'll help like people
Yes.
understand how to get to that point. I don't know if you remember or not, because I know you probably had it set up for that, but
Of course, it's me, SJ, and I have 10 million questions all the time. But you said that you're able to load up or preset the contracts that you want to get in and out of before the market even opens. Did I hear that right?
Yeah. So like I'll do it right now. So like right now, I'll do for 0DT, I'll go to trade. So for SPX, and tomorrow is the 6th. So this is all done. I'll go to the 7th. And I'll look in here and then I'll go to my charts and I'll see, okay, so tomorrow I'm going to play probably the 3850s. If we start to rock, so I'll just come in here and I'll select 3850s for the upside and then send it to my option prices over here. And I'll get rid of all the ones today right now. Just backspace, select, and then I'll do like a 100-point spread. So I'll probably do this 3750s for the put side, for the downside.
yep, and it's the same idea of what James was doing. We're
Yeah.
just sending it to, so once you can create a watch list, right? You can create multiple watch lists. And to do that, you just literally hit that down button where it says like to the top left of the watch list there. Yeah, or maybe it's the middle one, right? Yeah.
That's what I think it's create watch list right here. Yeah.
Yep,
So
so
what
you-
like you
Yeah.
so right in here, well, I name them all. This is all the industries. And that's it. And so like, you can down to bring them up. And so like this is what I'm just option prices, this is what I'm playing for the day. And I'll probably bring like a 3700 in here just in case we shoot back down and or I'm sorry, 3800.
So the next question is, okay, so you've got it preloaded. Do you just click on the one that's preloaded to fill it? Or is there,
So then so I trade in flexible grid. And so like
which
that.
is basically Active Trader. It's just, you make it Active Trader.
Yeah,
Like
so
you
I'll
have the
just-
Active Trader window.
So I just select it right here and it comes right there.
And the reason for that is because the colors are matched, right? So hit the color on that window right, is the
I'll be right
same
back.
color choice. Yeah, that's fine. Same color choice as what he selected for his watch list. So if you go into selective, if you go into flexible grid, right, you'll see there's some options about moving windows around. But what you notice on all of TOS is that like on the right side of a window, it has like the letters that are turned vertical, right? So it'll say like from the bottom up, it says like N, L2, DB, PS, C. I'm just looking at mine right now. And then there's BTNS and then AT, right? You see
Mhm.
that? That AT is active trader,
Okay.
right? So you click on active trader, okay, and then you also highlight, you look at his, I know it's, so there's two things that you highlight. You highlight the chart, which is C, and then you also click and highlight active trader. And it basically makes one window will have the chart for the, which gives you the chart of that individual contract. Along with active trader is the, the price ladder, basically, right? It's the order book that we were talking about before, like how to set the limits and stuff. So once you click those two, and you can do that on any section, right? So whether you're an active trader itself, or if you're using the flexible grid, which allows you to, just kind of integrate the two.
See, I don't see flexible grid on mine.
It's right here in the
so-
charts.
Yep.
It's right in the charts. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. If you're back.
Flexible
go for
grid.
it.
Okay. Found it.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like you could play with physical grid. You can also change it, like customize grid right here. So like this means like you want to delete something or add something. Like
It's a little funky, but once you play with it, you'll see how it works, right? It basically moves the square over. It's not as intuitive as the newer programs, but it's because it was built on Java, and it's just, I don't know if that's the absolute reason, but I know that's a big thing with TOS.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's once you get it, once you understand how to make things work, like it's, you can really customize it. In a lot of ways.
yeah, and then like I can add more screens over here. Like I don't know. I think it's down here on my. Do I have it down here? Yeah, I have it down here. So then I'll bring these
So
up
can
too.
you have chart trader and chart and active trader on at once?
Yes. Yeah, like here's active trader right here. Like you tab it. You just keep pressing these tabs on the side.
Or you have to use flexible tabs for that, because if I use their regular tab layout, it keeps switching for me.
Yeah, you'd want to go and use flexible grid. The other thing that you can do, Monative, is you can detach any window, right? So you can detach any individual square,
Yeah.
or the whole like six, like on the left side of the screen.
Yeah.
That six.
This
pack
button
you can
detach right here. See where
Yeah.
it comes up here. You can detach it.
And what
And then
it'll
I'll-
literally create two. It'll create like a copy of it over top, and then you can move that around.
Yeah. Then you
Yeah.
could change it if you want one or two, like right here. Like so I'll just do like two, and then I'll go to create two.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, and so it's and one of the things I like about it too is see how this one I have the cloud in here on these. I have 9 EMA, so I have different on my studies. So this is where I'll jump into studies now if we're ready to move on for charting. And my studies allow me to load study sets. I have all these study sets in here. The 29 moving average, the BT cloud, this is my detached 921. So this is like my go-to for use a 9 and 21 EMA. And you save all these studies by editing them. So you go to edit study, and then this is all like, here's like the price and everything. That's all at the top, and then these are the bottom levels down here. So for some reason, this one always wants to default to there. So I always got to move it to volume. And you just press apply, and then like there's the volume one right there. So these are like your
Sorry,
lower
so
tabs.
Where'd you get that chart from? I'm on the phone, so I'm trying to zoom in.
What chart are you asking about?
The one you got up right now,
Yes, I just go to my studies. I have these preloaded.
studies.
So-
Okay.
and these are all these studies I've made throughout the years. So I'm only using pretty much I call it the DCHAS 921 and the BTT cloud. Those are the only two I really go back and forth. And then when I'm
Yeah.
doing long-term
What?
study,
Yeah.
I have to call the moving average one that has like all my moving averages, the 921 and all that stuff. So when I zoom out, I could like when I do like long-term like trends, I'll go out to like a 5-year trend. I'll put in this one in here too.
So
As
this
always
is
moving average.
where your indicators are at, right? Let me see.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
exactly.
And in the Discord, if you go down, and so I don't, these indicators aren't in there yet, but I don't know if you don't mind sharing some of them, Phil.
No, I'll
put 'em
share
in
all
it.
of them. Yeah,
Yeah, so down in the TR Academy, like down near the trading pit, right? That last like bunch of channels, you'll see indicators -TV -TOS. Well, so that has a bunch of different indicators and different information regarding, some of it's for TradeStation or some of it's for Thinkorswim and some for TradingView. But we'll put them in there, or Phil, you can throw them down in that channel. That'd be great. You should be
Yeah,
able to type in there at some point. And
so all these ones like this BTP cloud, if it has have a missing question mark on this right side, I mean somebody wrote it. Like the default ones have this question mark. So I had to go online and I could show that later. It's a little advanced in how to bring in other indicators into your TOS. You can do the same thing with TradingView. And like I use
Quick question. So all of the indicators that you import from ThinkScript or from somebody else, they all have to be deployed on, installed, copied on each computer you use, right? It's not like there's a profile.
correct. Yeah, it has to, yeah, but no, but so
well,
like I was telling Alex is I saved my
it
profile.
saves it, really, right? Yeah, that's what I
share
just did.
share workspace right here. So I'll share this workspace. And here's my saved workspace for this. And then I could share everything of it.
Yeah, so once you get
So
everything
you have
set
to do
up,
that. It's not like your log on automatically lets you bring up a workspace that you saved on another computer.
Correct.
Yeah, correct. You need to have the sharing code.
Yeah, that's why TradingView has a lot of people because they can just go to any computer and it's on the cloud and they can just go and bring up their profile.
Yeah.
This one's not shared on the cloud.
Yeah. Do you guys use anything from the TOS Discord group? They have some interesting stuff there. I've not explored it much.
They have
I'm-
like so there.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead, Alex.
No, I
So
was just
there's
gonna-
all.
Yeah, you go ahead, dude. I've been part of that group. I have not looked through it. That's all. I was
So
gonna say.
here's a used Thinkorswim community, and there's also one on Reddit too. The TOS community on Reddit. Those are two. They're all free.
Will you
and then
throw all at some point, dude? Will you throw all of that down in that channel we were just talking about?
Yeah,
The-
yeah.
the-
I'll put in all my
the
scripts I use.
indicators, just like even just
Yeah.
linking this website, would
And this
it'd be
volume
great to have
indicator,
on there.
this volume indicator is my favorite. I don't know where I got it from, but I like it because it shows like whatever time frame I'm on a 2-minute right here. It'll show you like the green bars on the outside and the total right there. And then the red bars are the sell.
It tells
So
you
it's-
if there's selling pressure inside of that candle. though,
Inside that
right?
bar,
Yes,
yeah,
and
it'll
that's
show
dude.
that.
I want that one. That's actually there's a guy that sells one that's similar to that. And I just
Yeah.
never bought it from him. But at the same time, like I knew there were free versions out there. It's just
Yeah, so
gotta
I
find
hunted
them.
it down. And so like I just, like I'll spend a lot of time like reading through these communities, like I'll search for volume, like which one's the best volume, and this is the one I like right here. It shows it like in real time. But again, that's all still a lagging indicator because no one can tell you what's gonna happen in the future. But yeah, you'll see like this candle right here in the last minute. You see the volumes at 4 million is on SPY, and then like there's the percentage of sold. So, like that's much of the upside was there. There's all that much selling in it. And so that's part of like the studies. The studies is like all these little knickknack stuff, and then I have another study in here too. This is the one I was talking to Dave about. It's a relative strength study.
is it trader line relative strength or is it
I gotta find it because I because that's how I look for them. I look on the right side and whatever's empty.
so I do know in the channel in Discord, if you scroll up, right? So I have relative strength and relative volume, right?
Mhm.
And I like it, but it's better for swings, right? Looking at like daily or 4-hour charts over a longer period of time. But the indicators, there are links or the codes to do it on TOS, the relative strength and the relative volume for Thinkorswim. But I mean, if you post yours, if you can find it, post it in there too, and you can always compare it and see. I mean, I don't have it
Yeah,
up on
that's
my
not the one.
Thinkorswim, so
Yeah, I gotta do some hunting around for it. But that's how you edit a study. If you don't like it, you just come in here and just press X and it's out. I can then press apply. and boom, it just plays with it. Yeah, I named it, and when I named it something silly, and so I had to look
Yeah.
for it. But yeah, it's a nice one. And it was from this guy wrote it because TS 2000 it is. That's a really nice one too. It has a relative strength in there. And relative point. No, and I'll find it. But that's a good one. And so then I started playing with that one, and it shows you the relative strength of like an individual stock compared to whatever sector it's in and towards the S&P 500. And so that's really good there's a relative strength trading strategy that I was like kind of tinkering around with learning, but that's another subject. But yeah, and then so that's studies, and so that studies allows you to do trade from having 920 EMA to like a cloud. See, they're basically all the same. You know, and then like I have Saudi's pit ribbon in here, and like there's all kinds of ones you can play with. But where's the other one? Moving average. Yeah. Here's the one.
I'll say while you're pulling that up, if I can chime in real quick, anybody that does do the flexible grid, one thing you can do is you can just double click on the top, you know, by the ticker symbol and everything right next to the studies. If you click on the bar all by itself, double click, it will go to a full page.
Yeah.
And you could double click on it again and bring it right back to, because I love flexible grid because I'm at work now and I work just from my laptop. So when I trade, so me being able to do it that way, that double clicking makes it quick and efficient. The ones who were asking about the active trader and everything, if you just do the flexible grid, do 2 or 3, you could do it that way, or click on trade, the active trader, and then you can double click just to give you that better real estate. You know, if you're trying to look at 12, 16, because I think mine's broke down to 12, but I'll click on it, double click on it to pull up the full page to get a better.
I almost asked you, Tommy, if you used that to trade with. I couldn't remember. And I almost tagged you, but we started talking. So yeah, I'm glad you chimed in here because that's
I'm at work watching this from my phone, or I'm working, of course. Watching from my phone. But yes, it's a great feature to use. So I just wanted to chime in, but I'll let you get going. I'm sorry, Phil.
Oh, no problem, man. No, that's a great one. Thank you for bringing that up, because I discovered that by just playing around with it so much. I actually hit it and I was like, why did it just move?
Same here. That's the only reason why I found it.
Yeah.
It was me playing with it. One day all of a sudden I was like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
Is of all the TOS videos I've watched, none of them have ever referred that or shown that, or at least I haven't saw the video for it. It was me just stumbling across it by the way I was able to find that one. So
yeah.
So
and like
you're just double clicking in the center then?
Where this is at, where it shows like the long name of the
so you double click that.
And it just automatically goes to full screen.
Oh no shit.
And then if you double click right back, it will bring it right back. So instead of how you were detaching stuff earlier, Alex,
trying to blow it up and shit,
and
right?
Then you're taking your time moving stuff around. Just double click it, look at it when you're done with it, put it back to its normal size, and then
no, yeah, that's freaking okay, cool. I'm glad I asked because I wasn't really paying attention. But.
So yeah, like real quick, like when Alex is giving out his levels and his calls. So this one right here, these lines right here is another study I have. It's called a pivot study, where it just basically gives you the highs and lows, and it's helpful for like 5-10 minutes, but I don't use it for long term. I don't use it to build my zones. It's not really good for that. It's kind of helpful to keep you to remind you where your 5 and 10 minutes at. But when I want to do a drawing, I just come down here to the drawing tools. There's 2 ways to do this. It's the active tool. You can select it, and it's the money sign. It says price level, and you just drag and drop. Like right here, I'll just drag and drop this one for today. I'll say 379 for top, and then double click, and there it is.
Hey,
and then you can also
do you have the drop down menu?
You can also do this one too, the drawings, and then the drawing tools right here.
Do you have what I'm talking about, where you pin it? Like it's pinned to the, like when you get your mouse near the top of the chart, it'll like drop down. I haven't figured out how, I can't remember how to like get that in the first place, right? Like I have it. But
yeah, I don't,
maybe
it would probably be in here, or you could go to your settings maybe.
Yeah, I'll when you're done, I'll share my screen quickly and show. I want to show 2 things. I mean, there's no rush, but that I'll at least show it to you guys. Maybe you can be like, oh yeah, I've seen that before. Cause I have not, I was trying to think the other night how to, like how, I can't remember how to tell somebody to set that up originally, which is,
Yeah, I haven't used that. So, and so like for like the bad thing about TOS is when you're in this drawing tool, you're in this drawing tool. I can't go and edit stuff unless I'm outside of here, outside of the chart. So I'll come in here and I'll like, you have to go back to your pointer, and then I can edit the color on these. And so like I'll do color changes on marking on which ones are for what time frames. Like for today, like yesterday, I marked these green for this is when I want to buy calls. On the 15-minute, came back and found this zone in here, what I was looking at, and I said, hey, if it comes down in here and we get a breakout and a retest, I'm gonna get in calls. Bad thing is I woke up like at like 8:15, so the move was already moved. So that was my day. And then I'll go and I'll look at my I'll go back and do it again. But that's so you see the different colors in here. Like double clicking goes back to whatever like time frame you're in. So I'm on the 2-minute 5-day. So we double click in, there it is. But that's how I do my zones and stuff like that. This is by this drawing tool. And besides that, like everything else is like, here's my VWAP right here. So like the Thinkorswim VWAP custom, I don't have the upper band showing. Like I removed it. And maybe that's why mine's different than most people's. But this is how I found out it's only the way to do the VWAP. You can show like the plot on the bottom, and there it is right here. It's just too much noise. So like there's like little tricks you got to play with, like, and then go back to it. And so like I have different drawing sets. So this is my drawing for trade, and then I have like lines and prices and arrows. This is when I was learning how to like save my drawing tools. So you can save like if you're on like if you're doing like long-term like key levels, like in a longer time frame, like the
I
say
was
like
just gonna say, if you get something you like, make sure you save it. Same with the setup, right? Like if you like the
Yeah.
layout, make sure you go up to that where it says setup way up, top, save the whole workspace, save the layout,
yeah, and you just name
'cause
it.
it-
You know, like
it
you
does-
saw
yeah.
something, yeah.
You'll lose it, which I've done in the past, which is, because it doesn't automatically save it. It's not like that. So
Yeah, and so like you come out to your different time frames, and you know, and I can do drawing sets for that. Like here's a drawing for back in the day. And to remove drawing, you just right click it, and then this remove drawing. Where's it? Delete drawing. Yeah. So, any questions? If I'm going too fast, just let me know. And then
Yeah,
like, go ahead.
I have a question. So you say you save your layout. How do you save it? And then also, so if you save the layout, you can just open the layout and then your layout would open in the morning when you start up.
Yeah. So like that's Thinkorswim would come back, and so to where I was at right now, it'll start and I turn off thing, or like I log out of Thinkorswim, it'll come back and it'll come back to everything the way it is when I save it, like the
Yeah.
way I left it.
yeah, do you save it up by hitting setup, or do you save the right?
Yeah, setup.
then you
Yeah,
save the workspace.
Yeah, as
Yeah. And just keep in mind too, if you go into those setting preferences, right, you can actually, there's actually a choice, right? Go to application settings. I forget exactly where it is, but it talks about, I think maybe it's system. It'll say like, what does it do at startup? Or no, it's under the startup, right? So if you go into that, setup, top right corner, and then application settings, I think it's called. And down, in the general tab down at startup, you can literally choose whether it use the like what screen, screen shown on startup. You can do home screen, last used, or selected below. So like I always have the active trader set up, because that's just what I use. So it always ends up starting up like that. So just know that like if your settings are off on that, it may not, like if it doesn't work, that you want to go in and check that, right? Because I don't know what the automatic, I don't know what it starts off as.
Yeah, so for a long time I did home screen till I went here and changed this to last used.
Makes
And
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so irritating.
I mean, one of the best things you can do, and everybody's said this, I think, at least once, is that, take a little time when you have some free time and just scroll through, like click on the button and then just scroll through the options. Because, it's not always in the place that you think it would be. like some of the ways that to do the chart, like when you first start up your chart, right? It's always the time frame, the last candle, right? The most current candle is jammed right up against the right side of the chart.
Yeah, so
right?
you go to
Yeah.
settings, time axis, and you put expansion area. So you can do it like I do 10. You can do 50.
I do fucking 100.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
mean, it's
he has
big,
it. Yeah.
but
Yeah. You know,
But
teach
you
his
can
own. Like
always-
some,
yeah, you can
Okay, so
reset, you can right click, reset, reset chart, right? So if it's a little big, but you can always go in or auto zoom, right? You right click and then auto zoom,
mhm.
and then you click and hold your mouse right, slide it over or whatever to pick your the zoom in window, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Right, you see that? Oh, that's the other thing, dude. If you get over a drawing, Phil, if you hover over a drawing, you can right click. And then you have an option to activate drawing, delete drawing, or preferences, I think it's called, right? And if you click on
Activate
that
drawing.
preferences, you can change that color from right there
Yeah. Yeah.
without having to go to your pointer and shit, Or edit properties, sorry, that's what it is. Yeah, if you click on edit properties, you can
There it
change.
is.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. See, I learned something new today.
yeah, it's instead of having to go back and click on it, there's so many little, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you find that out from just using it, right? But there's so much shit that you've done on this that I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I'm learning about it. So a lot of it just comes from like using what you need, spending some time.
Yeah.
So that's why I figured this whole, like having a few people go over different stuff is like, you may have to watch this video a couple times. And again, you have to just start playing with it. But once you do, like there's really a ton of shit that that you can do with Thinkorswim. This is just serious. We're scraping the surface on the layouts. Not even like we're not even going to get into like all this all the
watch
features that it
list.
has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey guys, what's up?
what's up, man?
Yeah, one thing too, when I started trading, I don't know if you guys touched on it, was when I started trading with Thinkorswim, is that when you're going through the options chain, you can link your whatever contract you're looking at. So you can put it in your watch list, and then you can link your watch list to your active trader. So as you're scrolling through your watch list, you literally just link it to the same color, and you're one click away from changing whatever you have in your active trader, right? You can just go
Yeah.
through
Yeah,
rather than having to search up that whole contract again.
Yeah, we did touch on that. Hey, can let me share my screen for 2 seconds?
I just want
or-
to do one. Yeah.
Yeah,
one
go
thing
ahead,
real
go
quick.
ahead. No, you're good.
So like at this
Just 'cause
view
I'm
right
gonna-
here,
I'm gonna
a lot of
bounce.
like, it took me a while to figure this one out, was to get rid of pre-market, because the gray is the pre-market, I think it is. Or is it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the gray is.
It is.
So you just go to, so like right now it's you go to equities
right.
and then
that's-
show extended hours and
Yep.
apply.
and
that's
the
how you,
highlight, you can, even if you want to show it, you don't have to highlight it, right? See how if
Yeah.
you like, it's not, I don't think you can click it right now, but if you have it shown, but that's the thing to keep in mind, that screen you have up right now, that settings screen, open that up and scroll through all that, because it literally, like options are under a different tab, right? So like, even though you think you did the setting, you only did it for equities, and then options
Yeah.
and futures and Forex, depending
Yeah.
on what you're trading, are all, it was so weird at first, man. I was, I don't know,
Yeah.
it was,
it gets to be a pain in, that's why I like
challenge.
Trader View, because you don't have to do this in Trading View. Mostly like a right click or something really easy, or click.
yeah,
And that's something,
yeah,
That's
much
why Trading
more-
Views.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why Trading View is so much more advanced. But that's one of the things that took me forever to figure out, like, because I don't like trading some things and like over here in pre-market. I like getting them so I know my levels in the morning, because I'm not up at like 4 a.m. and know where the high and lows are. But yeah, that's one of the things. So yeah, these are your friends' studies, and this is where your characters are going to be. Change it, and then you can just change the style of the doji and your time frames right here. Once you do your time frame, change it all up, and these are my custom time frames. All these ones I saved. You just do a customized list, and you just add the time frame to your list. Those are all the ones I've done. And then this is your chart settings that we talked about already. And then how to edit studies. Yeah, one quick button. But that's what I have real quick on that.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
mean, let me just share that. I gotta go, but you can keep sharing more. I just want to show you guys this so it gets on the video. And then I'm gonna have to bounce. What I'll do is I'll pull it up on my phone, and then one of you guys can just shoot me a text. when we're done. I'll shut it down so it doesn't just keep recording blank.
And
screens.
are you gonna have this automatically post to the recordings?
Well, yeah, after the video processes on the cloud and then I upload it. So it'll be when I get home, but depending on how long it is, it takes a little while to process on the cloud. But all right, so the things, what was that? Oh, let me do this before I forget. See how when I come up, nope, not gonna do it there. Okay, so let's go to on active trader, right? Let's just see here. Yeah, see how that drops down? So you can blow it up. See how that drops down? Does anybody recognize that? So like what it is you can actually pin different things here, right? So like it's not just drawing tools, right? So like as I move away from it, right? Let's zoom this out. This is a chart, obviously. It's a 5-minute chart, but that's not the point though, right? So as I get close up to the top, see how that pops down? So I have price level there. I have trend line. I have text pointer. I also have the expected move best, which is that's actually an indicator, right? Or it's a study. So it's if you get on the daily for like SPX, and this is in the that TV or that indicators channel. So if we go to SPX, let's go to the daily. I'll show you guys what it looks like. But yeah, if anybody knows how, or realizes how to how to set this up, right? Which I assume it's the drop down menu, something like that. But if you don't have it already, like I know how to adjust it and do the settings and all that shit, right? You can literally this is how you add stuff to it, and then you click done. I'm just not sure how to get this started.
So yeah, so you go to your settings. I just looked it up real quick and found out how to do it.
Okay, beautiful. What settings?
You go to settings, general. So go to the roll of the wheel.
Over where's the wheel?
Right next to
Right
D.
there. Yep.
Yeah, settings. And then where it says my tools on the bottom right hand side of the whole deal. On the chart. There it is right there. That's the pin.
My tools. On each chart. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And so mine's on off, and that's why mine's not up.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So that's how you guys do it. So you guys see that, right? We just go to settings, and it's under the general, which is the first one. Go to my tools, and right. So you put that. Make sure I have it on each chart, but I guess you could do single panel. I don't know what the difference would be. Hey, and just a little side note. You see these little arrows here, right? What this does is when you click this on, right? See how that changed to gray? That's off, that's on. What that does, right, is when you right click, it actually puts it, okay, so it'll actually put it here, right? So where is it? Yeah, my tools mode. See how that see how that showed up in this right click menu or whatever? So if I go in and unclick that, this is just a little tip. So if there's something you want to turn on and off like pretty quickly and regularly, you can just do it. So like now I go down to style, right? And I come up and see how it's gone. So that's data box mode is, I don't know why that's one of the settings, but if you go to settings anyways, you have a whole bunch of stuff here. So, you can get rid of shit that you don't ever change, but it's pretty much an option for anything, not everything, I guess, but anyways, that's just a little side note there. So, say you wanted to, like the after, let's go to equities, right? You can see I have these turned on to as far as highlighting extended hours and showing extended hours, right? So like, that's actually on my right click menu. So, if you don't have the ability for like the drawing tools or something like that, anything, try coming in here and seeing if you find that option and see if that little arrow in the square next to it is, if it's highlighted in gray or not. So like I can come in here, right? And what you do is you go down to style and then come up, right? So you see how I have the options here to show extended hours, highlight extended hours. This is SPX, so it's not going to matter right now, but show studies, fit studies. Fit studies is a real issue because what happens is if you're trying to fit the studies and an EMA, like a 200-day EMA is way out of whack or it's way above price, it'll squeeze everything together, right? So that was one of the, that was the main reason why I found out about this. So what I was able to do is if I didn't care about the studies, I could uncheck this box and then it wouldn't try to fit them in the window. So it just gives you a little bit quicker option instead of having to go into settings each time. So the other thing, I just wanted to show you, that's right. The expected move best. I'll just show you that. That was actually an extra thing. Where'd it go? Uh-oh, did I turn it off? Fucking drawings. Where'd it go? It's not there anymore. All right. What was the, why did that do that? Time each chart. Dude, what happened to it? Now it's almost, now I don't have the thing anymore. Anyways, all right. Hey, it's not a big deal. The can I do it here? Yeah, I probably can.
And that's a custom study you have, right?
Yeah, but it's in the Discord. So it's it's the expected move. Now it's not going to match exactly. You have to do it on the daily, but yeah, expected move best, and you'll see so the way I have mine set up, right? And that's the one that I shared, I believe. Actually, I believe there may be two shares of that. So I think Matt posted one, but I mean, I posted all of them, but you'll see, I think, if you see two, one of them will have a whole bunch of shit here. You can go into the settings and change it. But all this is showing, right, is when we've, it shows, this is the close from the previous Friday, the black line. The red is deviation to the downside, green is one deviation to the upside. And when you see a red dot on the candles, it shows you when it broke through, right? So like you can see, and the way to use this kind of is, I mean, for one, it does give you, like, it does act very similar, right? When if you put this on your chart, you come in quickly and you look at it, you can say, okay, look, it's, I know about where this level's at. You will see it like reject off of it. Like this candle here closed right at it, right? Then we gap down next, whatever it was, the next day, here, and then we gap down, obviously, again. The thing, it only does the first deviation, but up and down. But what you can do is look back and see how many times we've broken, like how many weeks we've broken the expected move, right? And I mean, let's just look at all the dots. I mean, it's incredible. So the that's just so uncommon normally, right? But yeah, so you see how price came right down, closed right at the lower expected move here. And then we did break it here on Friday. So that was, we did break the expected move, and you can see once you gapped over it here, we pushed down pretty fast, and then the next week opens up at this black line right here. And then, obviously we immediately broke the expected move on that week, but that was June, right? Yeah, that was coming into the June lows. So obviously a very volatile week. So, but to the upside here, even, right? When we were started to rally, I mean, we broke the weekly expected move this week, and we stayed inside of it. And what it's looking for, or no, we didn't. We broke it that week. Yeah. So anyways, that's called the expected move best. And it's in that indicators /TV/ToS. So, and then to come back up here and just get rid of it, you just exit out. And boom. So that was that. The other thing I wanted to show you guys was this. So this these diagonal lines here, right? This is a standard deviation channel, right? And you actually get that by right to the left of this little beaker, okay? Is this little like file with an eye, right? It's called a chart describer. If you click on that, what it does is it literally pops up, it says the 20-day EMA recently closed above the 50-day moving average exponential. Today's trading volume is 246.6% higher than the 50-day moving average. The standard deviation channel over 21 periods has an upper value, blah, blah, blah. So when you go over here, you click add studies to chart. And what it's going to do is it's going to add just one, right? So you'll end up with a center line. Okay. And then, you have +1, -1. What I've done here is to get this is I've added it multiple times, and I go in and I make the center line each time on each study. I make the center line white, right? And then and you can change the deviations, and I'll show you how. So like when you come into here, right? Obviously, here's the you can see standard deviation channel, right? It's 0.5. So if you go into settings, you can see how to change this. I just want to show you guys this because this thing is pretty powerful, and I'll show you, a couple charts, and you'll see why. You want it, you click through here, right? And you can choose the color. So because this is a half deviation mark, the middle line is a solid white line, right? But the upper line is a white dotted. The lower line is a white dotted, right? As far as the deviations, it literally says that you just put it in 0.5. So I have 0.5, I have 1, I have 1.5, 2, and so on, all the way out to 4. So what that, and what it does is it leaves you a chart that looks like this. And the beauty of this is it's the same thing it's the same concept as the weekly expected moves, right? The standard deviations. It's a probability thing, right? It's that bell curve that we were talking about previously. And the thing is, the farther you get away from this, the mean, right? The middle line, the more likely, you are to come back in. So you see these kind of act as levels. And it's always trying to retrace back to the mean, right? So even when we got out here, we almost got up to this second deviation, and we came back in pretty fast, right? We did, these half deviation marks do matter. And again, this is a 4-hour chart. Let's look at the daily. Make this look a little bit better. But I love this thing, right? It's worth taking the time to set it up. Once it's set up, you can save it. And if anything, it's just nice to look at, like, where I look at it on the daily and the 4-hour, right? And I look and I say, okay, what are we coming up into one of these levels, because they act as support and resistance. They do move slightly over time. If you look at the 4-hour, right, we actually right? This is Caterpillar. You see how we pushed up, right? And we've come right up to the center. So it never stays straight, right? Stocks obviously don't. But even if we zoom in a little bit here, you guys can see this. We broke up, got a big rally here. It went right up to the half deviation mark, right? Couldn't close above, started dropping down, came down, tried, blasted through, but it did come up on a 4-hour and test that center line, fell away, didn't quite touch it here again. I mean, it's just kind of this wave motion. Yeah, every time I do that. By the way, if you click something and you start a drawing, right, and you're like, shit, how do I get rid of the drawing? You right click sometimes. Then if you left click, sometimes the drawing's still there. I always go over to the price and I just kind of like click a couple times and it X's it out. So anyways, this is in that channel as well. It's not, as far as I know, I can't save it as a study. You guys have to just go in and do, you have to click on this little file thing right next to the beaker. And then, like I said, just click on it. You click on it and set it up, and you just do it over and over, right? I've done it 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, however many times, right? So I've done it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Literally 8, 8 times I went through there, and you have to adjust it and whatever. So you don't have to do 4. You don't see a lot of things get out to the 4th deviation. The probability of it is so small. But if you look at SPX, let's see if we can go out to the daily. I wanted to say, and it works on the weekly as well. Yeah, it's about looking at the weekly. That's the other thing with ToS is the time frames. Although I will say with the standard deviation channel, it works really well with these set time frames because it does need a set time frame, right? So like this mean is calculated from everything you see inside this window here. But again, you see, this is what we post. I posted this on Twitter like a week ago, right? This is the mean, and we're talking 30, basically 3450, right? Or what is it? Well, it says it right on the right. So 3442.5 on SPX. It would make sense for us to come down and touch that and even dip a little bit through possibly. Like it doesn't have to come all the way down to 3000, but to bounce off, to come down and dip into that before it before it's like, before we really start to move this rally back up, like long term. So, looking at the weekly, it's like, okay, that's, I could imagine it coming down, touching 3450, and possibly even coming down and touching 3000, which would be right near this half deviation, minus half deviation.
Hey traders, is that where you got that was it that 360 SPY put for October, a couple of weeks? Is that what you look for when you make your trade? You look for the deviation to get closer, and is that where you came up with them puts at?
As far as a target, it gives you an idea. You're talking about the ones we bought at the top there after the June rally?
I told you the other day, I thought you said you bought some puts for a couple of weeks out, and I was just like, why?
No, I did 350s and the 360s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was more off of let me just pull up SPY. No, I didn't look at that specifically. Because I probably would have bought, this shows, so on SPY, the mean reversion on the weekly is going to be 343.58. You can see it in the white box just underneath that pink. And so these are the EMAs too, right? What is that? That's the simple moving average. So that's the 200 week, yeah, of course. And that's what we bounced off of, right? We bounced off the 200 week, but if we do come down, and like I said, normally you don't just stop at the center, right? You kind of wave through it. It doesn't have to go all the way to the half deviation mark. It could only come maybe a quarter deviation down, but you're still talking 320 at that point, right? And it could easily bounce up here first. It's not a guarantee, but it does give you an idea of what the overall theme, like where's our overall retracement going, right? It's reversion to the mean is what this basically is. So but even on smaller time frames it works. But yeah, no, Mills, it's a good way to use it, right? Like if I'm looking for puts, I don't think I'd get them 2 weeks out, and aim at this weekly level. But if you want, if you got like January puts, like I would say, like 340 January puts probably do just fine. Like I assume we are going to go get down there.
I was just wondering where you got that up for the swing. I was just wondering if you're looking at that that right there. And
yeah, I forget exactly what I was looking at the charts, but not this chart specific, or not not the standard deviation channel specifically. And again, I like it on the daily. I mean, if you look at this, right, we well, you guys can see this, right? We just we're coming up, right? So if we get SPY to 381.84, right, is where it's at right now. If we push up to that tomorrow, it wouldn't surprise me to see it dip back down. Now, if I click on a price level though, let's see where, and I snap a line on this supply right here.
Wow.
So this bullish candle right here, right? That's going to be your supply zone on the daily chart, right? That's your daily supply on SPY, right? That's your supply zone, and look where the supply level is. The bottom of that supply, that zone is right there at that 381.84 basically. So not surprising to see maybe it's 382 at that point, but well, yes, 382.15 is what I marked. So again, you see these kind of line up, the zones still are king in my opinion. But when I start seeing convergences like this, like it wouldn't surprise me to see SPY at 380 and then roll over, right? Doesn't have to roll over, but it wouldn't surprise me to see it. So I just wanted to show you guys that. I do have to get going. I'm gonna turn it on my phone, and that way I can stop it when you guys are done. So if someone will just text me, like Les or Phil, somebody just message me or hit me up in the Discord and say, hey, we're done. Just tag me. And I appreciate it. And you guys, Digi, are you down to still share? Or Phil, you got more to say or share? Anybody?
Yeah, happy to share. Phil, unless you're Phil, you have some more to share.
Yeah, I could share a little more.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, awesome guys. I appreciate you guys doing this, and yeah, keep it going as long as you guys want. I would prefer to be here, but I do have to I got to do this, so
We get it, brother.
yeah, I'm gonna go eat pizza, and actually pizza sounds good. It's not gonna
I
be
was about to
bad.
say, Parenting is not, it's tough, right? Little pizza, if they had beer, then you'll be covered completely.
I hope to God they have beer. I may even bring a cocktail on the way, so. All right, guys. Yeah, have a good one. We will chat some more later. And then, yeah, once we get back,
All
Tim,
right.
can I ask a question?
Sure, ask a question.
This is related to the tools that everyone uses. So I do have TD Ameritrade, so because of that, I have access to ToS. It kind of gets a little overwhelming, so I bought a subscription for TradingView. And, I also bought a subscription for Black Box. And I canceled it because it was too expensive. It was like $900. So I was wondering if just having ToS is enough and learning ToS is good enough and leave the other subscriptions.
That's all I do. I have the free, the annoying Thinkorswim or TraderView, and I have Thinkorswim.
Mhm.
That's all you really need. And that's all I need.
Okay.
I don't see anything else. I was gonna just walk everybody in how to set up a.
So to begin with, right, if you're here in the Discord already, then you have access to, everything that these guys post. You don't even need to start with TradingView. Let your positions build. I mean, Thinkorswim gives you everything you need. It's more work. TradingView has got a lot of advantages, but you can do pretty much everything you do on TradingView on Thinkorswim. The
Okay.
only thing I'll caution is, it's easier to follow these guys along on TradingView. I don't have TradingView. I'm just fine. I just got Bookmap because I've seen it used by a few people and I like it. To me, it is a cheaper option than full-fledged TradingView. Inside Thinkorswim is $40. Right now, other than this, I only have Flow, which you don't need because I'm going to share it every day on on Discord. So tools are not going to make you better. I would rather you concentrate on learning Thinkorswim fully. There are professional traders I know that don't have anything but Thinkorswim. That's it.
Great.
They have a lot of customization on it. That's more than enough for them. They don't need additional tools. So
Thanks, Monitor. And that's what I was thinking, and that's why that's what prompted me to ask this question. So
don't spend thousands of dollars. If you're going to spend that
okay.
money, I'd rather you get Bloomberg and be done, right? You get everything you need there.
Right. I didn't even get the 900 back yet. They're still holding it, but it's okay. I'll get that.
Black Box. So look, option strat is $500 a year. Black Box is $1,200 or $900 a year, something like that.
Yeah.
But the thing with that is the only difference is Black Box has some overlays, so they explain what the blocks are going through in a much slicker format than Option Strat does.
Mhm.
But Option Strat gives you pretty much the same information for half the money. So again, it's not the tools that are going to make you better. I'd rather you learn one tool and then add on based on how you what deficiencies you see in it, then fill it out. That way you learn, right? If you have 4 or 5
Hey,
things,
Monative, do you want to teach a class? Because I have better things to do with my time.
no.
Like, 'cause I'm gonna,
Sorry, guys. I'll yield back. Sorry. Just
no,
had.
I mean, it's a good question. Yeah, I'm trying to, I'm showing from the very beginning of Thinkorswim and how to do this.
No.
If
Just
you
go
know.
with it.
All right.
Totally agree.
All right. So here it is, like straight up when you open up Thinkorswim for the very first time, this is what you have. This pretty much lines on the chart, right? Is this what the default is? All right. So I want to just go real quick and how to show up, like how to get in like this simple things like an EMA and all your other studies. And so like you just come in here to your studies up here in the very right time and then just add study. And so there's this confusing because it brings them a lot of stuff in here. So I would just say load or edit studies is what I would go to. So you want to edit the study right here, right? And then you just want to search for EMA. It's in there, it's under strategies probably. Yeah.
I think it does it weird on it's like exponential and like it makes you type it out, I think.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, right. So let's go to ease. A moving average. That's what it is, moving average.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah.
So you're looking here and there's like a bunch of moving averages, right? And it gets, this is one like it really deters everyone to move away. Moving average exponential is what you want to do. It's not as straightforward as TradingView is. So this is like, when I first started, this is really got me. It's like, well, where's the 9 EMA? Well, you have to create it. So I'll just add selected over and I'll bring it over here to the price. This is kind of like your face. You can do it over. This is the price of the stock, or down here is the volume. You can move it down here and do that. Or you can bring in, add in another bar, we'll bring another bar down here. This gets really complicated really fast. So I'll just keep it up in price. And then you want to select this in the settings. The default's already at 9. And then so that's good. Let's do the 9 EMA, right? Okay, and apply. And then you can, customize it. So if, whatever you like, you don't want the color, you just change the color to what you want. And then apply. So that's how you do a new one. That's doing a 9. And then you would just add another one over. And then you would change this one to the 21. And then apply. And there it is. There's your 9 and 21 day EMA. Whatever colors you want to do. So I'll just make it like a yellow. This to show you how to do this and apply. And so that's that. So now you want to save this study. So you just put save, save as a set, and then this is how it's a save study set. You name it. I'll do for class. And bam. Okay. So there's a 921. So then, if you're just playing with your study set and somehow it disappears, you just come in here and go load set, and there it is for class right there. And you can switch between study sets. And that's how you save them to what you want. Is there anyone where like you have any questions? Like, am I going too fast? Is there anything? You can just stop me if you have anything. But that's one of the way you start with it. And you're right, Montiv. Like you don't need too much. Like a lot of the full-time day traders I see, they don't even use an EMA. All they come in here and do is draw their levels and price action, and they go at it. And you like less is more when it comes to trading, I think. But there's a lot of stuff in there that's going to help you and like whatever you want to use. And so if you want to see like on these tabs right here, you get rid of your chart. Like there it is, gone. Here, I mean, I've done that before. Like what happened? So here's the chart tab, time and sales. This shows you like, hey, what's going on with the sales throughout the day. Obviously, it's after hours, so nothing going on. You'll see like the size and everything, and you can edit everything with the wheel. Just customize, like bid, ask, and then move it over, item select, do what you got to do.
Hey Phil, what's a quick way to, let's say you have the 9 and 21 right now. What's a quick way to turn it on and off?
So I would just go to studies, remove all studies.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that's a quick way to do it. And then when you get studies, this basically your overlays on this, and then and you come down here and your lower, these are your lower ones down here, your lower windows. You can always add some. And still trying to figure out. So yeah, this one right here. I believe it's this one. I'm not sure. I think it is. And no, it's not. Oh shit. Anyway, so then it's like you really want to get really, really creative. You come in here and you sorry. This is how you import studies over. Great. There it is. Yeah. This is where when you load studies up, this is the code to do it. And sometimes you'll see some guys who just have the code up, and that's where you would copy and paste it and put it here and press OK. So that's like, this is like you'll see a lot of them in here. This, I'm not sure if it's Java. I'm not really up to speed on that. But that's how they write in the intro ToS. That's like advanced. I don't want to go into that. But so yeah, so then there's all kinds of stuff in here, like your VWAP. You'll hear me call out VWAP a lot. You want to put that over the price, and then you want to edit it because if you just do regular VWAP, you have that, and then you could, if you want to change and select it, you just select on this, and you could change it and go like this. Change color. You can even like get rid of it and apply. Well, that's not. So lower band, change color, apply, and like that's how you do it for that. Is there anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah, Phil, can you maybe show me how you chart out on Thinkorswim, like what tools you use? Because Trader used the horizontal rate, but I don't see that on there. Or, how would I, chart on there? If you don't mind, please.
So I try to keep it no problem. Let's see, we roll studies. So I'll use this one, the 9 that I would state already. Should come up, right? So this is what I use. Here's my VWAP right here. Here's my 9 and 21 day. And then this helps me understand, like, we're on the 5-minute time frame. Here's basically your 5-minute supply and demand right here. You see this level. And then for some reason, the volume might do that. I don't know why it's doing that. Then that's all I basically use is that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Let me show you real quick. Yeah. So because I'm breaking down, I'm using and I'll use these for time frames, the 2 minutes and 5 minutes. We'll go between those two right there. That's what I use. That's pretty much it. And then like I'll have like we're in Apple, so I have like my preset. So I'll go to my drawing tools and go to my default. I'll have my preset lines determined the day prior, or what are some key levels in here, and see how that is for my zones and stuff. My zones are like I do the same daily supply zone that Alex does. I like to use some key levels for all the stuff and using it for the 15-minute time frame. I'll come back here in the 15-minute time frame for 5 days, and I'll find out where my key levels and key zones are at. And then
Oh,
I'll
I
use that
see. I see how the box connects. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then see this right here is another study. This one right here, it gets in here. This pivot right here, I got this from a guy online. I don't live and die by it, but that's pretty much all I use. And then I'll bring in time and sales and see which way where everything's going. But I honestly don't even look at time and sales anymore. Not as much as I used to. But and then this volume one here is a really key one. This is a good one. I'll share this one where it shows like the pressure for each candle. It breaks it up. Here's like in this candle, like you can obviously see it's an uptrend candle, but it'll show you like the percentage of buy to sell it is in each candle. And then during the day, this will change automatically where it shows the percentage of where it's at on sell. So I try to time that out when I get into a call or put. I try to time out where I'm buying into weakness and selling into strength. For a call, I'll buy on a red candle. For a put, I'll buy on the green candle.
Gotcha.
Just to get the best bid and ask price I could do. But my overall, like what I look at is probably it's going to be it's this right here. This is my layout right here. What I do, I have the contracts right here that I'm looking at. Here's the price of the contract, and here's where they're going at, and I'll switch between either puts or calls.
In this layout that you're using, Phil, you only have one of these at a time, right? Like this active trader setup, you only have one of these going at a time, and then you'll switch the contract within
Correct.
this layout.
Yeah, right here with this. Because I also have on my other screen, I have active trader for Fidelity, where I'm looking at outside of 0 DTs on other ones, because I was mostly trading outside of Fidelity. So
Are you sharing two monitors, or is this one monitor?
Just one monitor. My second monitor I'm not sharing because there's nothing on it right now. But that's the other one where I have my active fidelity for Trade Pro on. So that's what I'm looking
Okay, so how you have yours set up right now? I do something similar, but with my charts, obviously they're on TradingView. So just looking at the right side, I would have okay, so you have the underlying ticker on the top, you have the premium and active trader on the side, and then what are you doing? That SPX chart is just another chart. It's
at.
just another ticker chart.
Because yeah, this will. So I like to look at. I was in the habit of looking at the time and sales on SPY because there's no time and sales in SPX. So
Yeah.
I'll look at the SPX price line here, and I'll sell, and I'll watch SPY.
And then your chart setup that you have on the left side, you just keep that there because that's where you add your put in your levels.
Correct.
Okay, you do that there too.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, my levels are here. My levels are down here.
Do you have a multi layout within Thinkorswim that has like the large caps, or you just shuffle through like this?
Are you talking about just for my watch list? Like
Yeah, or just like your charts. Yeah.
right here, all in here. These are all the ones I focus on. And then
Nice.
I'm starting to because I'm building this because I'm trying to, my whole thing is patience. I'm trying to gain more patience, and like sometimes I'm trying to build my small account at 25K. Well, I am going to build it to 25K, and so I'm moving up gradually, slowly but surely. So I could easily put 25K in there and be where I can use margins accounts, but I'm going to do it myself because I haven't done it since like 2002, since I started with like hardly any money. So that's what I'm doing right now in this account.
Yeah.
So yeah. Did you have anything? I mean, any more questions? I'm sorry, guys. I'm just like getting crunched for time here.
No, you're good. I think this was super duper helpful. I mean, it answered just personally, right? I just wanted to kind of see how you approach it and kind of compare. So I think seeing yours and James was super helpful. I can, and I know this is probably stuff you already know. If it's helpful, I can just share just a couple of quick tips that help me as far as speed up the machine, because I think I've heard from some people that sometimes Thinkorswim lags, and then we can close it down unless other people have questions. I don't want to tie you because I know you have your
yeah, I just haven't.
son,
Yeah,
right?
I just well, he's asleep, and so I haven't gone for my walk or done anything. I'm just.
Well, I was gonna say like when he's asleep, then you got to take care of you. So it's like it gets a little tricky.
This is
man. Yeah.
So I'd love to see how you speed it up. What are the
okay? So how about this? I'll go through mine really, really quickly, and then if you got to bail, no worries, man. I'm gonna.
Do you want to share your screen?
Do the same. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, sure.
Quickly.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing then.
All right, so I'll share this screen. Okay, so all right, so I guess real quickly, when you first open up Thinkorswim, this goes back to exactly what Monta was saying. Definitely what Phil was saying. I feel like I'm sure Sig and traders have said it as well. Like less is more. Don't put a whole bunch of stuff into your charts, but it can sometimes you can also be at the mercy of your machine and how quickly your machine can operate. So if you did not buy a machine specifically for trading, one of the quirks that Thinkorswim has is just the way it was designed, the way it was programmed, doesn't always take advantage of every capability that you've got on your machine, specifically like the number of cores, etc. that you've got. Can you guys see my screen, by the way? It should just be literally this guy. You see this?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so when you first open it up, the first thing, and again, you guys may have already known this, but the little gear icon, if you click on it, it's going to give you a couple of options around the color, the language, font size, etc. But these two things right here, this is your minimum memory and your maximum memory. These things can actually help speed up your machine. So the easiest way that I've heard it described is, if you have a Windows laptop or computer, you type in Control-Alt-Delete, and here I'll just share with you guys what comes up for me. Right, so this is what comes up for me. Right, so it tells me, shows me all my info here. How much memory I'm taking up and all that, you can go through, this little icon, the performance icon, and it'll tell you how much RAM you have. And I'm only going here because not everybody knows every single thing that's, associated with their machine, right? So for mine, I've got 64 right now. I've only got 48 available because I'm running a bunch of stuff in the background. But I'll close this since this isn't a class about your machine. But that's just a quick way of knowing, okay, hey, how much RAM do I have? How much RAM do I usually take? The recommendation that I've seen people kind of offer up is you want to do about half of your RAM to 85% of your RAM, which to me sounds like a lot. But keep in mind, if this is assuming that you're using, a machine primarily during trading hours for trading. If you run a bunch of stuff in the background, you want to maybe do a little bit of research to figure that out. I think it's worth doing because it'll save you some time. So for mine, I've got more than one instance running right now, but normally what I'll do is I've got a 64 gigabyte machine. So I just set it to 30. You can type in 32,000, and then I'll do it up to like 50,000. And when I do that, because I literally have killed every single thing in the background, it'll help it run faster. You don't have to go too hardcore on this, but I'll hit cancel for now. But once you do that, just hit save. And there's just, if you Google settings, memory settings for Thinkorswim, just Google that plus the RAM that you have, you'll find tons of options or tons of suggestions. You can also message the I guess the support, and they'll tell you what to change those settings to. It can make it a pretty big difference. In my case, it made a pretty huge difference. So, but I'll close that. So that's like just kind of one thing that can help you out. And here, just I didn't want to change all of my settings around, so I just opened up. Bear with me here. All right, here. This is a paper trading account, just so I can do it on here. So as far as like other things you can do around performance, so I won't go through all the chart stuff because I feel like Phil's done a great job with that. Same with everybody's that's shared so far has done a good job with it. But let's say you decide that you want, I don't know, a 2-window setup, and you want 2 windows, and you're gonna on these 2 windows, I'm gonna watch SPY, I'm gonna watch QQQ, and consider that my kind of like my bellwether, right? So I'm just this can tell me everything that's generally going on with the market. It's gonna be my chart, right? And I think earlier on someone showed this, but if you go up here, you can detach, right? So these 3 lines, go down here, detach, and it'll give you kind of an external window. And that way, if you have multiple monitors, you can kind of move things around, right? So that's great when you have multiple monitors. One thing to keep in mind is the more of these windows you have open, the more of a performance suck it can be. Another option you have is if you right click on your, like if you have Thinkorswim on, I have it saved to my toolbar here, but you can actually just go to wherever you've got Thinkorswim saved, right click on it and click the the logo again, and it will actually open up another instance of Thinkorswim. And again, this has to do with how it was designed, right? So I think a lot of this it's a Java-based program, as I understand it. Again, it could be very wrong there, but based on how it's designed, if you open up more than one instance, it can actually, instead of doing a bunch of detachments, it can help with the your system resources as well. And again, I'm not trying to go too deep into the tech stuff because I'm not as sharp as some guys in that area, but I did want to, and B, it's not about a tech class, but I think it's important because if you're actually trading and if you're day trading, you don't want to be in a situation where your system locks up on you and you're not able to get out of a trade. So last thing I'll say about that, maybe I might say one more thing. So this is this is a paper trading one. I'll switch to a live one here in a sec, but if you go into your help, this is one most of you probably heard about already. If you click help, if you see your system kind of slowing down, there should be something up here that says collect garbage. Since this is a paper trading account, it's not going to show that. But if you click on that where it says collect garbage, it will clean out your system. So it's like it caches some things in the background. And that's another way of just speeding it up. So if you're doing your pre-market work, right, what I would suggest is before the open, go in here and hit, you know, collect garbage. And just so you guys can see what the heck I'm talking about here. Here, I'll do this. So I've got another instance of Thinkorswim running in the background. So, you know, you've got up here in the help column, this thing will come up, and this is where you see collect garbage. So here it's not going to show that, but on a live account it will. And this is basically the memory that's being used by your system. And every time you click that, it clears everything out. So those are just, I guess, a couple of quick tips on how to get your system to run faster. I'll give you maybe 2 or 3 more tips, and then I'll let you guys go. When you're just on the paper account, again, everybody's done a good job kind of sharing out your setups and things with your charts. As you come up with your own systems, one of the things you might want to think about is not just saving the styles, which is going to be really important. That's what I prefer to do. Another way to look at it is, you know, for some people, they're going to have the same basic things no matter what. You can actually, you know, I'll just do a quick example. I'll go in here, I'm going to click this little edit studies icon, the little beaker. I'm going to randomly grab a couple of things. And I have no idea what I clicked on. I'm going to hit apply. And this is not how I normally trade, but let's just pretend like this is my standard, no matter what chart I'm looking at, whatever time horizon, this is what I want. You can go back to style. You can change that to your chart default. I jumped on a few minutes late, so if someone already showed this, my bad. But if you click on that, just say yes. And then I'm going to go back here. I'm just going to hit the reset button. It'll hopefully clear everything out. I did it right. And then if I type in, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to Apple. So now no matter what I type, no matter how many windows I open up, like Apple, Tesla, Twitter, one letter, it's going to show you, it's going to go back to that same default chart. So that's just another little tip, right? Is, you know, once you figure out what your default is on your charts. So as far as other tips around charts, the other thing I would look at is, I'm sure you guys spotted it here, there's a bunch of ways in Thinkorswim to get to places or you get to the same kind of information. You go to trade to find an options chain. Another way to do it, again, I wouldn't do this live just because you're trying to go quick, right? But pre-market, you're doing research. One thing you can do is just, you know, click this little arrow and go to options, and you can type in like, all right, click this arrow, go to options. See, it's got all these little headers here. I can type in Apple again, and it'll show me everything that's kind of tradable, right? So I can click on this and it'll take me to that chart, right? Or, you know, if I want to buy, you can right click and say buy, right? And then send it off, right? So just another way of getting to the same information. The other, and this one's a little goofy one, but just around charts. So this little arrow right here. Again, just because I've got 2 big monitors, and then I've got my kind of a tablet off to the side that's got it's like a 14-inch screen, right? For my 2 big monitors, right? Sometimes what I'll do is, rather than detaching everything, like I'll hit that little arrow and it's kind of like a detached screen, right? And I'll just kind of save it this way. And the reason I do that is, if you have multiple screens, going back to the whole simplicity thing, you got a bunch of screens and got a bunch of things going on. Sometimes you forget, okay, wait, which one do I go to? I manage more than one account. So I have to go here and switch between, again, this is a paper account, but I got to switch between my options account and my retirement account, right? That I manage. So this just kind of lets me not, instead of just detaching it as a window, I get instant access to like, hey, which accounts am I in? And you still get up here like your overall, you know, performance and cash and what you've got in there. Outside of that, the only other thing I'll throw up there is let's see, built a chart. I've shown you the default thing. Where is it? Okay. Oh, I think we've talked about a bunch of flexible grid stuff. I think everyone knows how to move the buttons around. Oh, this is probably good to know. Here, let's do this. All right, so if you, I think Monica, if you were asking this, if you just want to have, let's say, so within flexible grids, you can have an active trader window here, and you got your charts and however you want to set it up, right? Within the regular charts, when you can do the same thing, you can just, you can say, all right, I want 2 windows. I want Apple here, and then you know, I'll say Apple here just so that things pop up. I want this to be the chart. This though, I want to be the active trader. Where are you? There it is. And you know, I think the benefit here is if you right click and, you know, first let's see, do this, right click and right up here. Sorry. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to hit the reset button. I did something goofy on my side. Go back to Apple. Click on active trader. Okay. So if you detach just the, there it is. Sorry guys, that was painful. All right, so if you detach just the screen, right, and just get rid of this little chart, just go to the active trader. I think one of the advantages of this is up top here, you see this little pin. If you click on that, this will stay on top. So if I open up, I don't know, if I open up a browser to go somewhere else, you know, if like nothing, it'll stay on top no matter what you do. This will remain on top of everything, right? So if I want to open up a browser, I won't be able to access it because it will lay on top. The benefit here is, again, if you're switching back and forth between a bunch of screens, you've got this one active trader that's always up top. I think you guys talked about getting rid of the market orders, which is, I think, very smart in my opinion. The other thing I would do is on the second line, you have all these buttons that are actually kind of helpful, I think. You can highlight them and then you can hit move up. And then when you hit OK, you see all the stuff that's kind of hidden. I think it's important to keep it up there because, you know, for me, I tend to auto send, like I'll click this auto send button once I've done all my pre-work and, you know, it's go time, 5 minutes before go time, I'll turn on my auto send because I do not want to hit the confirmation button. Do not check this off until you feel comfortable with it, because the minute you say buy, it will send it to the market, right? So right now market's closed, so nothing's going to happen. But the minute you click anywhere on this screen, it's not, you see how it's not asking me, it's actually setting these orders. So if I don't cancel them tomorrow going in, it'll just, you know, oh, see, look, I've bought more than my paper account will let me. But that's just something to be careful with, is this auto send feature. Very, very helpful, but don't check it off until you're comfortable with it. These are your quantities. Flatten means sell everything at the market rate, so be careful with that. I would be more tempted to just sell at the ask, right? So or sell at the bid or sell at the ask if you're going into strength. And then the template button is also another thing that I find helpful with the active trader. So what this does is when I set a order to buy something in here, let me hit the cancel all button here. When I hit the, I'm just going to say buy market, even though that's not something I would ever do. Okay, so what this does is it sets, if I said, you know, since I had it on trigger with bracket, what it's doing is it's giving it an offset. It's saying, hey, set a limit order $1 above and $1 below, right? You know, whatever that range is going to be, right? $1 above and $1 below. So the minute I buy it, you're going to have an OCO order, an order that cancels another order, right? So whichever happens first, right? So if it goes up by $1, it's going to cancel the other order. If it falls by $1, it's going to cancel the other order. Well, what this does is it kind of locks in your, both your take profit, but also more importantly, kind of locks in your risk. And you can move them, right? So see this little line with a little chain, if I'm chasing the profit and I feel comfortable, right? And I've gotten above my break even, you can kind of keep rolling things up. This way you're not, fumbling around, you're, set the order and, hit the wrong button. It's just a nice little feature.
Can you show that one more? I'm sorry, I was looking.
Oh,
at it real
yeah.
quick.
No worries. Here,
Sure. Oh, is that the
I'll do it.
bracket? Yeah.
Yeah. So the first thing I do is, and you probably already know how to get to it, right? But when you're adjusting it,
Yeah, I
lot of
saw
the
you do
stuff is
that.
down here. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
that's awesome.
perfect. Yeah. So then down here, trigger with bracket is the one to use.
Oh, okay.
This one, don't do OCO at all. I don't know how to use it. Someone on here may know, but I tried that a couple of times and it did not do what it was intended to do. If you do trigger with bracket, it just defaults to 1, but you can change that. So $1 above, $1 below.
Can you
Super
change
helpful with the
one side of the bracket?
Correct. Yeah. If I can say, if this is a common, right? So I'm full of myself and I know I'm right. This thing is going to go to the moon. I can say $100 up and I'm only willing to risk $1. Right? So you can do that and it will comply. So you can just kind of adjust it however you see fit.
Can you do that? Can you just do that by selecting it too? By this, I mean, yours automatically did that by the top down, but just by selecting cell, like ask the cell, and then do one below it too. Like,
so I think let's
That
try.
will make it 2 orders, right? You need
Oh yeah,
OCO
it does.
to-
Yeah, that's right. That's the reason why it will do it as 2 orders. You're right. You're right, Manager. I had to think about that. Yeah.
Then you need OCO. If you want to manually do that, you need OCO.
Yep. And what's interesting is this is an OCO order, but for whatever reason, the templates, these are templates, it's called TRG with bracket, trigger with bracket. So that one tripped me up a few times. You can make your own templates. I've never done that. Actually, I take that back. I guess I've played around with it at some point, but I don't remember how to do that. I've just stuck to trigger with bracket. And then, if you have more, again, if you're just, down the road, you're saying, well, no, I know this is gonna go up and I want it to trigger 2 or 3 different orders. You can kind of play with that. But for me, I've always stuck to this one, trigger with bracket. And you can make it the default. So I guess I have to go to the order template editor. And I honestly don't recall how to do that off the top of my head. But I guarantee you, if you Google it, someone will probably explain it more clearly than me. But yeah, so on Active Trader, those are kind of the tips and tricks. Like I said, I think everyone else knows about these. Again, the flatten one, I keep the flatten up here but that's like if it's an emergency and I need to break the glass to use it, that's what I use it for. Otherwise, I'm buying and selling at the bid or the ask. That's kind of, my go-to. So
can I ask a question?
of course, yes.
So obviously, I do see Active Trader on the ToS that I have, but I don't think I'm anywhere near to use Active Trader. So for someone like me, they would just go to pull up the ticker and just use the buy and sell, I guess, buttons.
Yeah, you want to try that real quick?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
All right, no worries at all. So this is what just before I leave this is my typical, whenever I set it up, I always set it up in this exact way. Buy the ask, join the bid, flatten, that's my emergency. Join the ask, sell the bid. Actually, I usually have cancel all in between it, the buying and the selling, and flatten at the end. So I only go to flatten if it's something's in free fall or I'm panicking, can't get out of it, I hit flatten, but. all right,
So I
close
have to
this.
set those buy the ask, join the bid. I have to set it.
When
Because
you go
I don't
to
think I
active
see that.
trader, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, only when you're an active trader. Now,
Oh.
the other more basic way to get to a trade, I think is what you're asking, and stop me if it's not. So here, let's do, give me 1 second here, hit reset. Let's go to Apple again here.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple ways to get to a trade. One way is to go to the trade tab. And if you're looking to buy or sell the common, you can actually click on the pricing up here. That's one way of getting it. So if I want to buy the actual common share.
Buy the ask.
Yeah, yep. So you can buy
Awesome.
the ask. And then let me just so that I almost made an error there, right? So if you go to the trade tab, you have to do one of two things. You got to make sure that the ticker symbol up here matches up with whatever you were looking at on a chart, or that they're somehow linked the way that the others have shown us, right? So you can either link it or, let's just play it safe and say, okay, this is the Netflix chart. I'm ready to go here. I can type in Netflix, then I can buy the ask. And you see what happened as soon as I click that. I don't know if you saw that, but down here, in the order entry tool section, it popped up. It's going to default to a specific number of units. I believe there's a way to change. Yeah, there's a way to change that in your settings.
There is.
But you could just go in and say, I want to buy 1 share, or I want to buy 1 million shares, and just hit confirm send.
Confirm and send.
Yep, and then it'll ask you again. So hit send, and then it will fire away. Now, once it's there, you can also see, like, in your positions, it'll show up as a 0, but down here where it says position, if you want to ever change that, you can click on that little where it says buy, and it'll tell you the more details of it. You can right click and hit cancel, or cancel / replace order.
Mm-hmm. And then once the trade executes, you do a same thing, but a sell side.
That's correct. Yeah. So let's say, in fact, since this is a paper account, let's do this. I'm going to buy here. I'll buy in this paper account. This is the E-mini futures. Let's see if it'll let me buy it. I haven't in fact, let me buy it. That's the question. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to buy 1 contract. Confirm and send paper account, so it should let me do it. Great. Okay, so down here I've got showing me my current positions here. I'll just get rid of that. I guess it was doing it in after hours. So so down here you see how it's showing the actual contract that we own. So I can right click, hit sell single. It comes up over here, and then same thing, confirm and send. So you can manage it that way. The other way to get to it is on every chart. You should see this little arrow. I don't know how to describe this arrow thing. So if you click on that, it will actually, let me close this, it will let you manually input an order. Now, I generally don't use this. So let's say, okay, it's not order entry. So I've got little kids. If you hear anything in the background, I'm not hurting anyone. It's my kids chasing each other.
We don't hear anything, actually. It's very quiet.
Okay, cool. All right, so I don't use this area very often, but I know there's a way to do it there. It should be under order entry.
No worries.
Yeah.
At least I got the,
Yeah.
Yes,
Sounds like you
I'm
get
more
this.
comfortable with that.
Yeah, and honestly, if I'm not using the active trader, I like to see the full screen.
Yeah.
So I tend to go here. The only time I've used this section, it's actually been for the saved orders where, if I'm doing a particular setup and if I want to kind of pre-plan orders, I'll do that. But generally I use Active Trader or just this window. I'll buy what I want to buy here and fire it off.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And then I guess a couple of other, I won't, I know we're getting in on time, so I won't share my live screen, but just so that I'm not, I know we're getting up on time, but one other just general trick is when you first log in, for me, it usually goes to my monitor or my trade or my charts window. And I think it's just designed to take you to your most recent one. The home screen is actually not a bad place to make sure you spend just a few minutes. On the right hand side, you'll see a lot of the, it's not going to show you everything, but it'll show you a lot of the key, events and activities that are happening in the marketplace. On the left hand side, if you don't have access to, CNBC via live stream, you can actually choose your region. You can go CNBC US, CNBC Europe, or CNBC Asia. So as long as it's they're streaming, you have access to it if you want to hear the talking heads while you do your pre-market work. So not sure if I don't think the audio is coming through. Maybe it was, I don't know. But yeah, you can basically watch CNBC. You can see what's going to be happening in the marketplace as far as economic events. You can add other widgets here, and
you can set alerts. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You could set alerts for Jim Cramer only too, I think, on there.
That's yeah, that's right. Yeah. So basically, bonus tip, do the opposite of that guy, right?
Yeah, I learned it the most hardest way possible in when the Lehman crash happened. I was victim to listening to this guy. So yeah.
It's interesting for sure. So it's I'll play it in the background if I know of some key things coming up, and if I can't, it's a nice backup. I use Benzinga for my news source, but if something comes down with the web, or if I just want to hear more of the details versus the summary, I'll play it. But yeah, you're right. Jim Cramer specifically, I'm not listening to that guy.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And then I'll just leave it there just so we don't go too deep. I know we're going on 2 hours, but those are just general, like I said, tips and tricks. A couple of things that I don't know if people want to look into on their own time, and maybe we can always come back and look at this another time. Is up here there's a bunch of features. The analyze feature, I actually use this. Not everyone does. If you're new to trading options, or just want to, some of the things that Brendan, who's another great member of the community, was sharing with us, like if you want to go in and kind of have a free way of testing and seeing some things, you can go and pretend like you're going to go buy an option. And when you right click it, rather than buying it, you can click the analyze by trade, and then I'll just keep it simple and call it a single. You can analyze any of these kind of strategies, but you can hit that and hit single. And what it'll tell me, so is basically, I said analyze a put order instead of buying a put order. I want to analyze what it would look like if I buy a put order at this strike price, and I want 10 contracts. And the way you read this is, there you see these two lines here. You got the red line here and a red line here, and down here you should see some dates: October the 6th and October the 8th. What it's basically telling you is the purple line, which is October the 6th, that's tomorrow. It's telling me if I bought this at this at $1.46, if I bought 10 contracts at $1.46, by the end of the day, this red line is where the price has to be just for me to break even. Right. So another way to look at that is where it says price slices. Right? Down here where it says $0. So it's basically 146.15. So it's telling you that in order for you to break even the stock price has to be at 146.15. The more it falls, since this is a put, the more it falls, the more value your contract gets. So for some reason, I buy 10 contracts, and price goes from 146. What is it at right now? Let's call it 146.15. Let's say it drops all the way down to $140, which I do not expect that at all. I'm just using this as because it's the next bracket shown here. You can see on the lower left-hand corner what the value of that contract would be at tomorrow. So tomorrow, if it gets to that price point, if it drops down to 139.94, the contracts, I would basically net $4,672.32. The price below it is, if you set it to a future, like a future date, like, if this expired, the puts expired, like, when you did the transactions, that would be like the delta, like what you would actually make. When would you use this? Well, for me, I'll generally just look at the delta. I'll take the simple man approach. I'll take the delta and I'll say, all right, if it goes down $1, it's a 50 cent or a 50% delta, then I should yield roughly 50 cents. And I know that's not exact, because as things move, your Greeks move, right? But this is a good way, like if you're just trying to plan different types of orders, this will give you just like another way of saying, all right, well, if I buy this and it goes up by, if the stock goes up by $1, what's the impact on the option? So I definitely say do this pre-market or outside of like trading hours, maybe during quiet time, so you're not trying to use this and switch back and forth and place orders that way. But it's just a nice little feature, and once you've analyzed it, you can right click on what you've analyzed and you can just fire it off. So that's just a little bonus thing. I'm not going to go through the rest, but there's a bunch of stuff like that. There's like a probability analysis here. It tells you like, okay, on this date, what's the likelihood a stock will be above 146.52 or below 146.52 by this date. And there's just a bunch of stuff in here, right? So I'm sure if there's interest, we could always go and look at that. But for the most part, I don't use a lot of the features on here. I'll stop right there before I go into a wrap up.
No, that's good, man. I really appreciate you doing that, because I haven't really dug deep into probabilities.
Yeah, same. Like I know they're there. I don't use them, so it's
Yeah, I've been using Brendan's website and
right,
and other resources too. So
awesome, fantastic. Yeah,
This was really great. The only reason I went to TradingView was ToS made me a little bit, it sounded very overwhelming, and I thought, somebody with my level of IQ and intelligence probably could never get to use this beautiful tool out there. So now it gives me a little bit more confidence to come back here and try this out.
well, if you met me, you would immediately retract that comment, because there's no intelligence up in here. But it's I mean, it's like anything else. Like you learn it and see what works best for you. I don't think you were wrong to necessarily say, hey, if it's like, it's almost like a sport. I feel like you need for me, like, when you approach something new, you need those easy, like, successive wins. Sometimes it's okay, I just need to understand what's on the screen. And if TradingView does that for you, nothing wrong with that. Like I do prescribe to the whole thinking of like, hey, I'd rather just go with what I got, learn it, and hopefully I'll be better for it. But yeah, I mean, if you can do the same thing with TradingView, you got TradingView already, you can get that for free as well. Stick to what works for you.
Yep.
It's really less about the window and more the content, right? So
yes, I think joining the Discord was the best thing, because this way I'm not doing it alone, so it gives me a lot of confidence. So I was spending a lot of money everywhere else, trying to get some training because of my day job. It's a little restrictive, so I was trying to do it on my own. But I think I made the right choice of joining the Discord and learning it after hours. So thank you all for your help.
Absolutely.
Anytime, I'm just gonna leave you with this one last thing. I was overwhelmed by all this when I first looked at it. I didn't like TradingView or Thinkorswim forever because this is 5 years ago. I mean, that hasn't changed too much, and it's very overwhelming. And it's just too. It seems like there's too much information, but when you start digging more and deep into it, you start understanding this stuff really helps out. But if you ever have any questions, you can always shoot me a message or just ask me online. And I'll do my best to answer it. But I got my little one crying. He woke up. You guys have a good day. I got to
Please.
sign off.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Take care,
Thanks, man.
everyone. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
See you,
everyone.
Cindy. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anytime. Just reach out if you guys need anything else. Bye, guys.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, and I know, I'm so glad you joined. Hopefully you'll do really good going forward.
She left. All right, Alex, we'll catch you later. Hey, did you set up your new Wi-Fi and all that separately? All right, we'll talk later, man.